Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on a Tuesday morning. Another beautiful day here in Ontario, Canada. And if you're new to the show, that's where we're from. And we're enjoying getting our summer finally started here. But we're going back indoors. It seems like if winter's supposed to be over, we're indoors all the time. We're indoors with the NBA right now. And a lot of stuff has happened in the NBA in the last few days, and it just never stops. And again, more news, even though the kind of rush of free agent signings happened, we've got some more stuff happening yesterday.
Yeah, so as we know, Andre Iguodala was traded to Memphis, and D'Angelo Russell was picked up by Golden State. Well, Andre Iguodala will probably be bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies and actually signed with the LA Lakers to join LeBron James. Wow. I don't think it's the piece to make it a big three, but he's a key piece in that lineup. I think he'll be off the bench or possibly a starter come playoff time. Great defender, won the Finals MVP before and won defensive award before. So good player to pick it up there. Very impressive stuff for the Lakers. After they really did nothing during the crazy.
Well, we kind of called it as that they really hadn't done what they wanted to do. Obviously, there was plans behind the scenes that really nobody knew about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they knew about this, but once it happened, it was quite obvious that he was going to go to the Lakers. So, congratulations to Andre Iguodala. He's going to go to the Lakers now, possibly contend for another championship. There's also rumors that D'Angelo Russell could just be trade bait for the Golden State Warriors. We'll see what happens there. They don't have a lot of cap space, and they don't have a lot of players on their team right now.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
The rumor is he might be traded. They've now signed Klay Thompson to a max deal. D'Angelo Russell would be $117 million himself for 4 years, and then you also have
How do you keep creating enough cap space for these guys? Oh my God!
So then you still have Steph Curry. So the rumor is D'Angelo Russell will be traded, probably to the likes of Minnesota or something along those lines, for a couple of players, maybe some draft picks. But they need to do something because they need to sign some players. They don't have enough room right now. So we'll see what goes on there. The other news is JJ Redick, a top 3-point shooter, has gone off to New Orleans. We said New Orleans could be a threat to make the playoffs this year with the young core. Well, he's a veteran 3-point shooter, one of the best. So him going to New Orleans is very interesting. Obviously, he believes that team could have some upside not only this year but going forward.
And probably add some, it adds some veteran play to that team. It's a very young team, obviously, with all the draft picks that they've gotten. So it's good to have a guy like that step in and be part of that organization.
Yeah, and he's just a role player, so he's not going to really, I don't know if he's going to control a team, but he won't take any spots away from these young guys. But what he'll do is he'll take the number 2 or 3 spot, let a young guy behind him develop. But more importantly, if they do have a chance, maybe in the playoffs, he's a veteran shooter that can easily win a couple games for them just by his 3-point shot. We saw it in Philly this year against the Raptors. He was very impressive. So
you also see in the playoffs that older guys step up and can really help a team. So the young guys are probably going to get them to the playoffs, but it seems always these veteran guys put their best basketball in, seem to get more minutes in the playoffs as times get tough. And like you say, we saw them with the Raptors this year, and I think this is a good signing.
Well, I think it's not only fans; it's coaches understand the regular season in the NBA is kind of the biggest farce. So. Although they're going to,
when you're fighting for a playoff spot, it's not so much.
Yeah,
at the top it is.
And we'll see what they are like. They may not need to be fighting. They might just be good enough to be in that 6 or 7 seed. Typically, those seeds are kind of decided too, but we'll see that he might have to play some games on the road. JJ Redick at the end of the season there, help team get over the hump and get in the playoffs. So the biggest news on free agency is Kawhi Leonard stay quiet, although reports out of LA are not confidence for the Toronto Raptors fans. The reporters at LA are truly believing that he signed with the Lakers. The meeting went extremely well, apparently, with Jeannie Buss and Magic Johnson there. They said that he can bring his own team of doctors in to manage his health. He'll get the same treatment as far as load management goes for LeBron James. And essentially, him and LeBron can run the team together. The rumor is, too, that, they've said, hey, LeBron is up there in age. We don't think he'll be a complete third fiddle, that you'll be a top guy on our team, and that LeBron will really be the leader and kind of the extra guy there. So, will Kawhi Leonard go to LA Lakers? There's a lot of belief right now, and honestly, the last meeting though does go to Toronto. What it's done for me is eliminated the Clippers. So the Clippers are gone as far as we're concerned. So it's the Lakers or the Raptors. I thought the Lakers had no chance because, as you said to me today, and I agree with you, it kind of goes against everything he believes in.
Oh my God, I don't know what advice people are getting, but other than getting home, I guess there's one thing that this deal does, gets them back home to LA, which is fine. He's talked about that from the beginning, so that's not shocking. I hope if he does it, I hope that's what he says is the only reason, because there's no basketball fit in LA for this guy. I mean, he is not a media hungry guy. He's not been that way, or at least portrayed himself that way. He wants to play basketball. He wants to stay healthy. All of these things. I don't think that's going to happen in LA. I think that you're going to be fighting stardom there. He's not going to get the ball like he gets it here. Although I must admit, he's pretty understated. He never fought the fact that there were some games he wasn't on and Lowry took center stage. But on a regular basis, he got the ball. He scored all the points. He was our best defensive player. The fans went nuts. The media went nuts. I don't know. I think he's just going to disappear. I don't care whether LeBron's the main player or not. LeBron's the main personality. That's just the way it's going to be. And I just don't see it as a good fit. But he's talked about it from the day he came to Toronto that he wants to go home, and maybe they gave him enough stuff to go home, take the pressure off his injury stuff, because that's why he left his other team and came to Toronto. Maybe they promised everything. But you know what? It's LA. If they're losing early in the season, he's going to have to play. And they're not going to listen to his whining and bitching about his body and injuries and all that kind of stuff. I don't think so.
Well, I think he's looking at it going, if I'm going to go home, this is the team I'm going to go to. And I kind of agree with that, because why go to the Clippers? I mean, go to the Lakers where you can win. So I do agree. If going home is his dead set mind, then the Lakers is the team, because you might as well go win, play with LeBron James, be on a great team, have a chance to win a bunch of titles. And he proved it kind of in San Antonio that he might be willing to take a step back. I mean, you talk about not being in the spotlight. Well, he's actually defensive MVP. That's what he's known for. Right. So, and that's why he won the Finals MVP, was actually defending LeBron on San Antonio the 1 year. And obviously this year for the Raptors, he proved he could do it all. But if he went to a team like that, would he be comfortable just moving back, being the defensive guy and really being the top defensive player, putting up 20 points, but not having to put up 30 and 40 like he did with the Raptors? I don't know, but I do think if it's simply because he's going to his family, going to all these teams, going, has nothing to do with you, I want to go home, then the Lakers is the team to go home to, because you're going to win, you're going to play with LeBron, and at the end of the day, if it's money you're worried about, they can offer it to you too.
Well, I think that's, almost not the case for him. I think the only thing is going home, and he'd have to express it that way. I think to have Toronto fans really kind of accept it. He has said that from the beginning. He has been consistent that's the reason he would move. At least that's, at least you can handle that he came here for his 1 year, but he's never backed off the fact he's going to LA at some point. So if it's now, it's now. If it's later, it's later. I would say at that point, good on him. I mentioned in a previous show about how I would not be happy, only because he's really kind of goaded the Toronto fans since the championship that he was staying. He did everything in Toronto. He stayed in Toronto since the championship. He's gone to Blue Jay games, wore the Blue Jay shirts, he's done everything he could to really say, hey, I'm coming back. And I'm also disappointed if the Raptors brass didn't know this was a possibility. We talked again in the last show that they have done nothing here to imagine he was leaving. Nothing. They didn't meet with any free agents. They didn't do anything to improve the team. Both our main management, our coach, are on vacation. Here we are, the biggest time of the year. They're obviously coming back for the meeting now. But they really portrayed like they thought he was coming back.
I think both sides portrayed like that he was just coming back, and they were kind of coasting into it. I think the Clippers fell off the map by LA becoming so good in the West, becoming that Kawhi probably looked at the Clippers and said, I can't win by myself. Right. So the Clippers fell off the map early, which I think gave everyone the confidence of the Raptors.
Come back to Raptors,
same with, like I sasaid, the reactions of the players and the coaches, because if not, why was Toronto not out there trying to figure something out? I mean, a lot of these players went to cold climates. Yeah. So, you could have easily got maybe one of them to come your way. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. They do get the final meeting to remind him of why he was probably going to stay in the first place. I think he just, reporters probably here went good, and it might be the team he goes to next year, to be honest with you. Yeah. It might be setting up for that. Like, okay, everything went good, blah, 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 but I've already promised Toronto. But next year, that might be the case. I don't know, but the obvious thing is that the meeting went really, really well, and that kind of worries you in the first place. But he said he wanted no LeBron James there. He just wanted to meet with Jeannie Buss and Magic Johnson. He had questions for Magic Johnson, why he left the organization, apparently, on why, they kind of booted him out, and he kind of left, and blah, blah, blah. So he didn't want LeBron there, so he wanted to find out what it is with LeBron running the team. But here's the
stupidest thing. I said this from the time LeBron went to, and of course not the only one to say it. LeBron runs the team. Why do you want to meet with Bush? Why do you want to meet with Magic Johnson? The reason Magic Johnson is out is because LeBron pushed him out. Oh, simple. It was simple. LeBron arrived. He is the GM and the coach, and probably the president, unless Jeannie Bush pulls something off, which is getting rid of him, because otherwise he's going to be all three of those things. The only thing, hearing the fact, actually, I missed on the fact that LeBron wasn't in the meeting. This means nothing. It means nothing. I have more confidence staying in Toronto that you can't meet with LA and not meet with LeBron. Like, this is ridiculous. Because LeBron can crush you coming. If LeBron didn't want you to be there and he wasn't part of the meeting, and Leonard told him not to be part of the meeting, LeBron's going to go, nobody tells me what to do. I run this team.
Well,
it's obvious what
LeBron
he did.
wants him to
got
come.
Got rid of his coach, got rid of all these things. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what? LeBron's got an ego. You don't tell LeBron he can't be in a meeting when he runs the team. Are you kidding me? So, you know what? I'm less worried now. I didn't catch on the fact LeBron
it's not that
meeting.
LeBron was supposed to come. It's that apparently, like, he said, does Kawhi want me to come? And they said, no, he'd rather just meet with the brass.
So then LeBron goes back to his room and says, and I don't want a guy who doesn't realize I run the team on my team. I can tell you that.
I think at this stage, LeBron would still accept Kawhi. I don't think that would be an issue. I think LeBron wants to win championships. He wants to cement that legacy in Los Angeles. He wants to build something there for sure. He's already got AD. Guess what? If it didn't work out though mid-season, he'll be happy to go to Jeannie Buss to go get rid of this guy. But yeah. I don't think that's the case. I think they're friends. They know each other really, really well. I think it came down to the biggest thing apparently was they talked about health consistently in that meeting. They talked
LeBron
about
controls that too. He controls who plays, who sits. Let's face facts. LeBron runs that team, and I can tell you right now, mid-season, and they're not in a playoff spot. He's going to be going to Leonard and say, Leonard, you're playing every goddamn game. We need to get in the playoffs. I've taken over this team. I brought all you guys in, and we're not there. It can't happen. So,
yeah, but I don't think that situation's even realistic with the team they got now. AD will play most of the games. You got to think LeBron will play most of the games. Kawhi only missed 15 games last year. It's not like he sat out 40 games. He missed 15 games last year. I just think it was more about these team of doctors, apparently, that he has now hired to watch his health. LeBron has his team of doctors specifically for LeBron. They said it's okay, and LeBron said it's okay because he has his own team anyway. So it was all about these doctors. The bottom line is, I still think he's coming to Toronto for 1 year. I think this was more set up for next year, that he can guarantee get the max dollars. LeBron traded everybody away so they can offer him a max contract. I think this is more for next year than it is this year. Regardless, the reaction was good, which sucks for the Raptors fan. I wish it just blew up in their face. But at the end of the day, the Raptors get the final meeting. I think he still stays for 1 year, but this is setting up in my mind for Kawhi going, hey, I'm going to go 1 year, and I'm going to be here next year. What's the deal? And they got it all over with this year, so he knows what he's doing. He'll probably let the Raptors know. If I'm the Raptors, to be honest with you, it's still a win if he comes back for 1 year to
well, yes, of course, because every year you come back, you get a chance to sign him again the next year. Come back and win another championship, maybe he wants to stay. But I don't know. My feeling is if LeBron doesn't come out today and endorse this move, he may have hurt the guy that matters the most on the team. We've seen LeBron get rid of everybody he wants to get rid of, coaching, certain players, all this kind, bringing the guys he wants. And it's a snub in LeBron's face as far as I'm concerned that he wouldn't be in that kind of a meeting. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, obviously it's going to happen. Today's the meeting with the Raptors. There's probably going to be an announcement by tomorrow would be my thought.
Not knowing Kawhi, he'll keep you waiting forever.
Yeah, maybe.
He just loves this. I think he loves being the top free agent. I think what Toronto did was made him comfortable with the media all of a sudden. And I think he's now milking it and he's really enjoying it. Like, I don't see him making a decision, to be honest, till like Friday. Like, I don't think it's something he's immediately going to do. I don't think his mind's set up now. I think it was pretty set up and he thought he goes, I'll take the meetings with the LA teams, but like whatever. And then it kind of went so well, and I think they were so catering to Kawhi. I think they're really realizing with Durant injured, LeBron kind of up there in age, he's the best player in the NBA,
right?
Simply, and I think that was noticed this year in free agency. I think got everything he wanted out of every single team. I don't think he expected that. I definitely don't think he expected it from the Lakers, and he got it. I just think it's more dangerous now because I think they're realizing, he's now the guy. And now that Durant's out East too, really in the West, he is the best player. Yeah. And how do you stop him with LeBron and AD? And I think that's why the Lakers caved to everything he probably asked for. I think that's why the Clippers are now out of it because the Lakers are now in a position where they just need him so badly. I just think this was the worst case scenario for the Raptors was that he got comfortable with the media. I think it really opened him up and more importantly showed that he is simply the best player in the NBA with Durant injured and now Durant in the East. I think it's just opened all eyes to moving back home. The only reason why I think the Raptors have one chance for 1 year is because I think he verbally probably said to them, I'm pretty solid coming home. And I think hopefully he has too much integrity to really turn that away. And I think there's something to defend your championship. and really you'd have to probably win again for him to even consider staying another year. But I think he comes back for 1 year, still be defending champion. But this has opened his eyes to that it could probably work in LA, and now it's opened the NBA's eyes that hey, he's not just a defensive player; he is simply the best player in the league.
Yeah, you can't argue. You just can't argue. Easily the best two-way player in the league.
No, but in San Antonio, it was he's the best defender. He's the best defender. Now, because the Toronto Raptors put an offensive openness to him because they didn't really have an offensive juggernaut on their team, it opened that to LA Lakers, like, guys, like, this is not just, like, again, this is the best player in the league in both ways. Yeah. On the defensive, on the offensive. And now, I think Kawhi became too comfortable with the media, which he never had to even worry about the media in San Antonio. I think that's why he took the back burner to it. But because he was forced in the media in Toronto simply from being the best player on the team, he got too comfortable with it, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't disagree there.
He didn't really get trashed by the media ever. You only got praised, so I think you got a little too like, oh, you guys aren't that bad. Yeah. Oh, okay, my personality goes with the media. And now I think he's too comfortable thinking, I could go to the Lakers.
But here's what he has to understand. Here's what he has to understand if that's one of his issues. In LA, he is going to be scrutinized.
It's different.
LA is like Toronto is for hockey. Even a number of the hockey players are saying, oh my God, I wish they would just praise me all the time like they did with Kawhi. There was never a negative thing ever said to him. That's because we're 25 years without a championship in basketball. Basketball is a secondary sport in our country and in our city. And so they treated him that way. Basketball reporters are different than hockey reporters that have been around since back in the 30s. Hockey reporters have always tearing up our hockey players. That's why guys come here in Toronto, don't perform like they could somewhere else. The media is unbelievable here on hockey. It was not like that. The media here might as well carry pom-poms around for the Raptors and LeBron, for God's sakes. They never scrutinized the team one bit. And he's got to understand that's not going to happen in LA. This is a team that's being put together to win a championship. LeBron wants to win a championship. And he's going to be scrutinized every move if he's not playing up to that level.
But I think with
here, they would just cheer him on again because he's the greatest player.
I think with AD, though, now with the Lakers and really Golden State not a threat, they just don't have enough tough teams to really worry about that they could be bad to feel scrutiny. I really don't see how there's any possible way they're not the 1 or 2 seed. And really, when it comes down to it, I think that's part of it is that they're really looking at it. If you're joining the Lakers, you're right. You get scrutiny if you're not doing well. Look at this year. But I think they look at it and go, man, I got AD if LeBron's injured. If I'm injured, LeBron and AD are there. How can we possibly be this bad without Golden State? Without any team even getting better enough to challenge us? Because Golden State has no Klay Thompson. Durant's gone. Even if Russell stays, which I don't think can happen because of the cap space, they got nobody there. Houston, you play a couple times a year. They might be the 1 seed, so you might be the 2 seed. But there's no other team that got better that would even convince you that with a bad LA Lakers team with the 3 juggernauts, if they had Kawhi, could be bad enough to not be 1, 2, or 3 seeds. Definitely 1 or 2, because in my mind, the only team that's any capable is Houston. Then I just think they're not gonna. He's thinking there is no scrutiny because it's just impossible with those 3 players that as long as 2 of them are playing, that they can be bad. And AD doesn't get hurt, so he's a big man, and he's gonna take a lot of pressure off LeBron, so he doesn't have to get hurt because he's so big down low. Toss it, toss it, toss it. So I just think with the big man AD down low, it's impossible for all 3 of these guys to be injured. It's possible for 2 of them to be injured. At most, you might get 1 being injured. They can do the load management thing. Every time LeBron sits, Kawhi can play. Kawhi can sit 15. LeBron can play. AD's going to play every game. I just don't think they can be bad enough to feel the scrutiny. So I just think he's looking at it going, there's just no possible way we can be this bad and I can be under pressure. So it's just eye-opening, I think, to him. I think when it comes down to it, he's getting the love from LA. He's been offered free food now from LA. Free places from LA. He's getting the treatment. He's getting the recognition he wants. I don't think people would trash him even if they were struggling because of how badly they feel they need him. You gotta remember, LeBron is hated by a lot of people. Even when he was in Cleveland and Miami during his prime winning, he was still hated by a lot of people. So I think it's just a personality that no one really hates Kawhi yet. They have no reason to hate Kawhi. I just think it's looking too good now. And I think with Golden State going downhill, Houston kind of, the players are there, but they have so much drama every year. And then no other team got better. I just think he's looking at it going, how bad can we possibly be with the 3 of us on this team? Like, I just think that's the way he's looking at it. And he's thinking it's too easy of a move now. And that's the problem for the Raptors. It didn't look this way for a while, but it's too easy of a move for Kawhi. And I'm a little worried. I was hoping this meeting went bad. LeBron James said he's best friends with Kawhi. They talked throughout the whole entire season. Oh man, I just hope he comes for one season because I think that's the Raptors' last chance to go again. With the East now getting so much better everywhere else,
Yeah.
the Raptors in my mind have one chance, and it's this year. They need Kawhi to come back, convince him to do this, and then you can go to the Lakers next year. And LeBron's maybe 1 year older, AD maybe 1 year old, but it's not a big deal.
Well, I'm holding out hope
We'll see.
that these meetings were for the future. He's committed to the Raptors. Otherwise, I really think the Raptors executive sat around and did nothing.
Got tricked.
And got fooled by him, and that's going to be a sad thought there that they weren't looking because, like you say, the East got better. The Raptors could get worse, although we love their young core and we love a lot about them. Without Kawhi, the chance of repeating is going to be very difficult.
Well, I love the young core, but they need a leader.
They need that guy. So anyway, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to hope today's meeting goes just as well as the LA one did. He comes back 1-1. And we see what we can do to convince him the following year. So anyway, it's going to be on watch as the NBA always is.
He's the last guy standing. I tell you,
good thing for them.
Went, yeah.
And it's kept basketball in the minds of everybody. And we'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow. What news we get out of Toronto today.